What's going on, YouTube? And before you guys start saying, oh, this video is clickbait, there's no way Skull Servants is undefeated, check this out. Anyways, so, welcome to Skull Servant post the banning of our good friend Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Ruler. So, there are a couple of changes that we've made to the deck. The deck's changes are pretty dramatic, and, I just want to demonstrate our very basic, hello, Cupid jump scare, our very basic new combo that involves Unizombie plus White Baking or Mizuki. Either of those works. Not only that, I will also show a couple of replays on some ideas that you get from playing the deck, and by that I mean there's one replay where I resolve grass, and then there's another replay where I get max seed and then play out from under Cash Tira. I will show both of those, and that'll be the idea, yeah. And I will also give you the new deck profile. Welcome to the undefeated tier Skull Servant Horus Punk deck, featuring Cupid VT. Me. Yeah, Chaos Ruler was banned, and we are very sad about that. However, we made an adaptation to the combo that is, pretty sufficient in making up for our lack of the original setup. So, let me show you that new combo. Basically, this is all guaranteed, provided your opponent doesn't have any sort of, hand trap to negate Unizombie. So, first things first, Unizombie effect, target itself, normal summon. This is pretty standard stuff. Unizombie effect again, we're gonna dump from our deck, and if we open Mizuki, we send, White Baking from the deck. If we open White Baking, the idea is we send both of these, right? Okay, so White Baking effect, we are going to do the same thing that we always do, and we are going to get White Prince into rotation, and add a White Mare into our hand, as is the standard Skull Servant combo. White Prince going to go to the graveyard, graveyard effect of White Prince, going to get 2 of our bricks out of our deck. And now here is where the combo deviates from what we did originally. We are actually here going to use Mizuki immediately to summon back our White Prince. Why are we doing this? Well, because, we're going to resolve White Prince anyway. And we're actually going to synchro here for a 6 to get a Mortal Dragon. Now, before, we would use our White Prince to summon the King from the deck, and our White Mare to get back the Lady in White, so we could make our Golden Boy, our Chaotic Ruler, Chaos Ruler, ruler of the magical Chaos Dragons, right? But we can't do that anymore, because he was banned, which is very sad. Alright, so now we are going to use the White Prince Graveyard effect again, get our other 2 bricks out of our deck, and now we are going to actually use Immortal Dragon's effect here to send another copy of Mizuki. This is going to effectively let us reset our Unizombie to level 3. So, we are going to use the Mizuki, we are going to bring back our Unizombie, even though the effects have been used, because Unizombie is a level 3 tuner, which is our favorite thing. Now we are going to White Prince effect. It doesn't really matter what we banish, as long as we banish at least 1 copy of Lady in White. I find it's better to keep 1 in the graveyard, in case we are trying to play off of our Mizuki, but, there's situations where everything could matter, right? Now we are going to use the White Mare effect, summon back the Lady in White, as we do, as, the old combo has always been, and now we are going to Synchro Summon for our Cupid Pitch, because, we gotta have our Cupid Pitch, right? Cupid Pitch effect, we are going to increase the level, so we have 7 plus 3 now, and that makes Baron or Chen Ying, but, for most situations, having a negate's pretty solid. So we're going to make a Baron, and Cupid Pitch will trigger, burning the opponent for 1,000, and adding us a copy of Nemesis Corridor. And if you've seen the standard Cupid combo before, we are going to now put the Mizuki back in our deck for additional gas, and we are going to make a Colossus. Now, depending on what you're feeling, you can either synchro with this Immortal Dragon and the Colossus into Chen Ying. You could go into IP if you have an extender with this Immortal Dragon, and, let's say we had Danger Tsuchinoko or something. We don't play it in this list, but, it is an option. We could, Danger Tsuchinoko, no matter what we're getting a summon, we could go into IP, and that's IP plus Colossus plus Baron, and then in our extra deck we also have SP or Appaloosa. We have options for that. If we feel like we really want to synchro summon more, we could synchro the Immortal Dragon and the Colossus here into Chenying. I don't recommend usually doing that. There's further additional plays that you can get from there. However, if you have literally just Mizuki plus Unizombie, this is the board you get to. Colossus is very strong at basically solo Snake Eyes, and it also is really good into things like Vanquish Soul or other decks that search frequently. So yeah, it's pretty solid, and this is what you can get off of your 2-card combo these days. Not only that, you've also set up your graveyard with 6 Skull Servants, basically. And, any sort of follow-up is very strong. If Immortal Dragon survives, comes back, Foolish is another thing. If Baron survives and you want to tag out for King of the Skull Servants, you can. And of course, you have also 3 additional cards in your hand that could do literally anything. We have, in this hand, for example, we had Grass. We didn't even use it. But we could have, just to go absolutely crazy on our opponent. And, we also have Nessie. Because, let's say we hit the 1 and 3, suddenly that's an IP Masquerena on our board. For after the Baron negates, we have, the SP disruption as well. Pretty solid opener, I would say. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the deck profile. A very simple deck profile. Why are we showing the deck profile? Because, you guys always want to see the deck list, so you can play these things yourself. That's why you're here. Now, before you are like, Cupid, you are only in silver, you suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a brand new account. I'm actually just coming off of a Yu-Gi-Oh! hiatus that happened 3 months ago, and ranked did just reset. I actually was Gold 3 last season. I would have pushed higher, but the issue was that I literally just moved. This is my first day with access to actually recording a YouTube video since, the move. And as a result, tragically, I wasn't able to push very high in ranked because I did just pick up Master Duel like a week or something ago. At least, pick it up again. So, don't say any, oh yes, this guy's bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! No, shut up. I showed you, I'm undefeated. Anyway, so, Skull Servant deck list. Horus is the king's name. Why do we call the king Horus? Because we are playing Horus cards now. So, our ratios, and I will explain each and everything here. We're playing 2 Skull Servant, 2 Lady in White. This is the bare minimum of these bricks that you can run. You absolutely need at least 2. 1 is not enough. 1 basically is just saying, hey, if I accidentally mill one of these off of like my tier combo or something, I think White Prince should just be a dead card in my deck afterwards. And that's fun, right? No, we don't want dead cards here. And 3 is probably too many because then you are running 6 bricks in your deck. So 2 is just, I feel like, the smooth optimum number here. We're playing 3 kings. Milling all of your kings is not what you want to see. You want to keep at least 1 in the deck because that level 1 extender off of White Prince's graveyard effect is nice. You do definitely want to play at least 2. 2, if you mill all of them, feels really bad though, so I play 3. You are playing 3 Whitemare. It's always an extender, it feels like. It is almost always an extender, I should say. This card is almost never a brick because you should always be resolving White Prince. So we play 3. You want to see it in your opening hand. You want to see it, I should say, with other cards that, give you graveyard access. So basically, if you can resolve White Prince's effect and you have Whitemare, you're feeling really good about the situation. So we play 3. 3 White Prince. You want to mill this card, and the name of the game in this deck is milling. So you are going to be playing 3 White Prince. It just makes perfect sense. 3 white baking. This is the best card of the Skull Servant engine until White Lord comes out, which, believe me, you will be getting a new deck profile when White Lord is released. That will happen. White Lord is it. I am very excited for that card, but we don't have it yet. So, let's just say I'm already cooking for when White Lord comes. That being said, White Baking, still the strongest card in the deck. It's a foolish one, essentially, by, adding and then discarding it. And you can also, grab whatever Skull Servant name from the deck that you need. 2 Lady in White, like I said, makes sense. 3 Unizombie, this card is the best zombie starter. However, since we are not playing Hand Traps or Cult by the Grave, you don't want to play Shiranui Solitaire, because if you Solitaire and get negated, that's it. You're cooked, So, we just played the 3 Unizombie. It's actually not even that good of a starter in the deck, but it is an additional normal summon, and it can give us guaranteed combos. Also, the fact that it is a level 3 zombie tuner gives us plays with Mizuki. It's extremely strong to have level 3 tuner plays in this deck when you're running things that are, level 1 extenders and Cupid pitch. It just makes perfect sense, right? So you're going to be playing 3 copies of Unizombie, no copies of Solitaire. It's too unreliable. 1 Princess. This is, if you get Max Seed, it's kind of like a safety blanket. Also, you can send it off of Immortal Dragon to make it a 3, and then you can, go into your Cupid pitch lines that way. You could do that. The Hand Trap effect of reducing attack quite literally can save your life. Dumping White Prince is not something you normally go for, but you can. And it also does come up that you can summon this back from your graveyard off of Mizuki for a level 3 extender that way. All of these options are available. You can't just outright cut the card. I feel like you always need at least one. And, this card's not something to sleep on, but our deck tragically isn't built to really abuse it. So, as a result, we are still playing it, but only 1 copy. It's still good, and believe me, this card has saved games, and I will show you that in one of our replays. Wielder. The reason we are playing only Wielder is because I feel like needing the level 3 tuner is more relevant more frequently than just the level 3 extender being Tracker. That being said, there are times where I have wanted Tracker, but I didn't have it. And if you want to live dangerously and play both Wielder and Tracker, I suppose you can cut a copy of Corridor for that. Or a king, but like I said, if you mill your one of Corridor or both of your kings, it really sucks. So I'm just not on Tracker. All right, Punk Engine. Like I said, we are playing the 1 copy of Wielder because we can add it off of our Jam Dragon Drive. It comes up. It's pretty good. We also have 3 copies of Xeomin, 2 E-Teles, because this is the standard starter combo for, the Punk Engine. And, E-Tele is a, make the zombie vampire without normal summoning, or a level 8 synchro plus a level 3 tuner, which can also, go into our standard line, and instead of just leaving the Immortal Dragon on the board, sometimes you can just squeeze out a Chen Ying on top of that. Or IP, either of those works. So yeah, you're going to be playing max copies of Xeomin, mostly for the E-Teles. And then the rest of the Punk Engine is the 2 Foxy tunes. You only really need 2. And then the 1 Deer Note. Now, you don't want to open Foxy Tune because we're not on Sharakusai plus Carp. I feel like it was just too much extra deck space to play Carp and Sharakusai. It's an extra brick to have your Punk combo be more reliable and have Foxy Tune be a starter instead of an extender. But I don't know. I feel like that's all a little bit overkill for what we are going for here. That being said, if you want to run a copy of Sharakusai and Rising Carp, you absolutely can. I don't know what I would cut from the extra deck, because everything here comes up. Literally everything. Like, the most cuttable card in the extra deck is probably Appaloosa. that should tell you how tight the extra deck space is. Everything here gets used, believe me. Um, so yeah, that's the Punk engine. Punk engine, very solid. Our tier package. Okay, so our tier package is quite large. We are playing, the field spell. We are playing the Soliek because, Rhoda is very strong. Um, we are playing Rhoda, obviously. We are playing our 3 copies of Rhino Heart. This is technically our best starter because it mills the most cards, and hitting off of our mills is, well, game winning, frankly. We are playing 3 copies of Seamare. It's an Aqua, plus it's also Rhino Heart at home. We are playing 2 copies of Sheeran and 1 copy of Havness, obviously. We're playing the max tier user ratio. And then, obviously, we're on tier cash. This card is our main source of our mills, so we do play it quite frequently. If we go into the tier combo and we have, access to both of these to get them onto the board, we can dump tier cash. And even if we don't, tier cash is a 7. With all of our level 3 tuners, we can make, our level 10 synchros, which is nice. In addition to that, we are playing 3 copies of Danger Nessie due to the fact that Nessie is an Aqua. It's also level 7, which means, level 10 synchros. There's a reason I'm so obsessed with the level 3 tuner in this deck. And yeah, so that's basically why we are playing the tier cards that we are playing. And now I am going to cover the Horus part of the deck and the Horus ratios. So we are on 3 Imseti, 3 King Sark, and then 1 of each of the other names. The reason we are on those in particular is because King Sark is never bad to open in this deck. You're playing a deck full of cards that like being in the graveyard. Opening King Sark is not going to be bad, because you're going to just send your whole hand to the graveyard, get out a zombie vampire, get whatever hand effects that you want off of these, get your zombie vampire. If you have access to zombie vampire, you also get Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, to make a negate. And on top of that, you have, additional follow-up now. As long as the King Sark lives with these, they just come back in their big bodies, and they hit really hard. The Horus engine is very oppressive, and this is quite literally, I think, the strongest engine in the deck now. That being said, the tier engine is also very good for putting up disruptions and whatnot, but I do think that the Horus cards do the most here. Beyond that, we have things like Mizuki. We have Mizuki to, be our graveyard extension. We obviously are going to play 3 copies of Mizuki. If we're playing 60, Mizuki is just free gas. In the Skull Servant package, at least. And beyond that, the only card we haven't really covered is Grass. Do I need to explain why we are playing Grass? Mill 20 in this? Yes, sign me up. Okay, so our extra deck ratios. We are playing 1 of each tier fusion. We are not playing any additional fusions other than the Colossus, which, is why we are playing Nemesis Corridor. Which, by the way, as I already mentioned, we're playing 2 because milling 1 of them when you only play 1 sucks. It's also a level 4 extender, which could give us redoer access, but that almost never comes up, it feels like. So, yeah, our Kit Kolos, if we go into Kit, our opponent is going to feel like shit. Kit Kolos is a crushing card. Mill 5, feel alive, Rolk, Summon Negate, very good card. Kaleido, also insane card. We all know how that works, right? Colossus, very strong floodgate in this format. Turning off your ability to search is quite literally game-ending against some decks, including, I feel like Snake Eyes most of the time will just fold to a Colossus. And yeah, that's basically everything there is to say about that. Moving on to the synchros. So, Cupid pitch. the deck spams level 3s and level 1s. Why wouldn't you play Cupid Pitch? A level 3 tuner plus a level 1 plus a level 3 non-tuner equals Baron plus add Nemesis Corridor. That's literally the combo we have done. Well, I wouldn't say since the beginning of time, because back when we had Chaos Ruler, we would make Hot Red instead of Baron, and we would still grab Nemesis Corridor, but, you know, that's slightly different, I suppose. Yeah, Cupid Pitch. It does the same thing it always has done, and we are obviously going to play the card. Immortal Dragon. This card has found its way into the deck to enable our combo post Chaos Ruler's ban. You know, now we use 2 Mizukis in our combo instead of just 1. We don't have reliable access to 5 extra mills, which is tragic, but hey, you know what? As long as we are making Negate plus Colossus, I'm feeling pretty good about the situation. Plus, technically, this could give us really good follow-up if it lives, or if we end on a zombie on the board that gets destroyed specifically by battle, which is so specific, but it has happened exactly 1 time since I have added the card to the deck, so it can come up, I suppose. Jam Dragon Drive. So we don't have, you know, our favorite level 8 synchro, rest in peace Chaos Ruler, but Jam Dragon Drive still does the job. It adds a, you know, Psychic to our hand, which is going to be Wielder, and if you were playing Tracker, you could add Tracker, like I said, but we are on Wielder because I feel like the tuner comes up way more. And obviously, you know, you're playing the punk cards, so if you already have Wielder, you can grab a Xayman as discard fodder for King Sark, as follow-up, I guess, but I would never call Xayman follow-up after you resolve the punk combo in this deck. And yeah, I mean, that's, like, why wouldn't you play it, right? Because, you know, Xayman get tune, send itself, and another card, summon Deer Note, sync for this, Chainlink 1, add level 3 tuner, Chainlink 2, summon from grave, which you could either get, you know, Xayman back from grave or Foxy Tune. There are situations where you want each, and really that's just going to come down to your knowledge of the deck, when you're going to want which one. And then, you know, you chain block with Xayman to boost the attack. So yeah, it gives you access to an 11 synchro. I'm not playing an 11 synchro, but you could go into an 11 synchro. And it also gives you access to a rank 8, which is very important in this deck now. Baron. Clearly, we are making a negate. Do I need to explain that one? Chen-Ying. Now, there's a reason Chen-Ying has made the list now, and that's because a lot of the times, when I am going through the combo, I am genuinely thinking, oh my god, I need a second level 10 synchro. So, we put in Chen-Ying, and once we put in Chen-Ying, it comes up the fact that I can make 2 level 10 synchros. Now that we are playing, you know, 3s and 7s, and also, you know, 7s and 3s. Redoer. I feel like Redoer is mandatory in every list that plays tier limits cards. This card is so good in tier that it doesn't make sense not to play it. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Or Photon Ward, I'm sorry, not Dragon. What am I saying? Now, this guy, Monster Negate. You use it with the Horus cards to play around Nibiru. You know, you also have access to so many level 8s in this deck that you will frequently have the ability to just slap on an extra rank 8 at the end of your combo. Zombie Vampire. This card is... okay, so, look, milling may be a little unreliable at times, but, you know, we do like milling in this household. And, you know, we make the Zombie Vampire quite frequently. Also, it has targeting protection, which is nice in a format dominated by SP Little Knight. We also have IP, you know, interaction during our opponent's turn. It gives us the option to go into SP or Oppo, depending on what we feel like we need more. Usually it's SP. SP. Best card. Power creep DPE, very strong. On summon, banish. On opponent does something, banish, and also banish. And yeah, this card is pretty nutty. I feel like it would be foolish not to be playing it right now. I've seen multiple lists in decks that don't even really use their extra deck that much, playing 2 SP Little Knights, because SP is just that good of a card. And finally, Appaloosa. If you can get to it, great. Bonus negates. If you can't get to it, you know, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so, with everything in the list covered, let's show a couple of replays so you can see a little bit of how the deck plays. Because, you know, I guess we should be doing that. So, this first one is, I activated Grass. Now, you know, obviously, you guys are going to be like, oh, this is such a scam. Cupid only wins when he activates Grass. No, this is not true. This is just a best-case scenario hand. We've opened Grass King Sark. So, what do? We activate Grass. If our opponent has Ash, we don't really care that much. So we're going to mill some cards here. And we are going to resolve things in this order. Now, technically, we probably should have activated Tier Cash after we activated Prince. So that's a slight misplay on the chain order. We want to get those guaranteed dumps. We're going to put our Havness back in the deck. We didn't activate both, by the way, because, you know, we want to resolve Havness later. See, I got punished there, because if I milled 2 copies of regular Skull Servant, I would not have been able to resolve the White Prince. But it's okay. We only milled 1, and that other White Prince can't resolve because we already milled our Skull Servant. Now we are going to roll Kalos at Sheeran. Sheeran effect going to send the Mizuki and summon itself out. And now Kid Kalos is going to summon back the Tier Cash because we have a Rhino Heart to normal summon, and we're going to mill some cards. Mill 8. You know, our graveyard's looking pretty big. We already got 27 cards in there. We're going to mill Soliak. We're going to mill 5 more. We hit Mizuki and Unizombie. Now we can just grab Rhino Heart. It doesn't really matter. We're going to banish 2 Ladies of White. We're going to summon one of them back. That's all good stuff. Mizuki effect. Going to now bring back the Unizombie. Unizombie, it needs to target itself. Dump the Rhino Heart. Unizombie, gonna now dump the Mizuki. We're going to go into our Immortal Dragon here to get another extender from the deck, and also I think here I make, yeah, this is a level 3 Immortal Dragon angle. Rhino Heart dumps Havness. Havness now going to fuse with the Kit Kalos in the graveyard to make our Roll Kalos. And obviously we are going to summon that in the EMZ. We are not going to end on IP this combo, but it's okay because we are going absolutely crazy. We resolved Grass and our opponent didn't immediately leave. So now we can sync for a 10. We have Redoer. We're going to make Shinying first, because it doesn't really matter. Mizuki's effect is going to go now. We are going to Unizombie back, and we have yet another Mizuki. Tragically, we cannot resolve Prince in our graveyard because we milled all of our kings. But that's okay. We're going to make Cupid pitch here. And we still have a Nemesis Corridor in our deck, which is nice. We increase the level. We make a Baron. And Cupid Pitch, gonna burn our opponent at that Nemesis Corridor, and we have 2 Horus names in our graveyard. Let's overlay to make Photon Lord. And let's, for good measure, slap a Colossus on top of everything. And we didn't even need to go through the Zombie Vampire here. So what is this end board? It's redo or tag out for a shuffle because, you know, we have our grave full of Aquas that we can use for Kaleido. We have Baron Omnia Negate, we have Opponent Cannot Search, we have a Monster Negate, we have a Summon Negation, and we have if something is banished, banish 2 from the opponent, as well as Protection, and everything loses 400 attack, but who really cares about that? So, obviously, the opponent did not play through this board, so we don't really need to observe the rest of that. So that's the best case scenario. What about the worst case scenario? What happens if our opponent does something along the lines of activating Max C? Well, let's watch this replay, and let's see what the worst case scenario truly can look like. So as you can see, I'm going first here. I've opened Unizombie plus White Baking, and I'm like, okay, great. I also have King Sark. I can go through the standard combo. I normal Unizombie, and the opponent immediately drops a Max C. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab Princess and White Prince. We're gonna drop off the White Prince at the graveyard. Mill R2, and we're gonna just Unizombie, send Mizuki, and get set up for next turn. He's got to kill us over this White Princess, which is, you know, great for reducing the opponent's stats, you know, unless they make a negate before the battle phase. That being said, our opponent is on Kashtira Adventure. And Kashtira Adventure is absolutely disastrous for us. I mean, you know, that's like our worst possible matchup is Kashtira. The opponent has an Effect Veiler that he just, I guess, drew the turn or something, because we didn't special. He's got Griffin now. He's going to bounce our Unizombie. He's going to Unicorn at birth. And, I mean, upon activating birth, I'm like, if he has Fenrir, I'm dead. So I need to use this Princess immediately. He chooses not to negate with the Griffin, which technically is a misplay. It wouldn't be game unless he had specifically Fenrir in hand. But he chooses to keep the negate on the board. And White Princess saves our life. We don't take enough damage to die. He's going to special a Ringo Worm. He's going to make a Link Spider. So he can SP my graveyard. And he's going to make a Rise Heart. A Kashtira, a Rise Heart. The hard way. He's going to legitimately make it. So, I mean, now I have to play with everything being banished. I have to play through this quick effect banish, and I also have to play through SP. Now, here's what I decide on. I'm like, okay, I need to bait out this Arise Heart banish. If he pilots it properly, I just can't. However, you know, I think that this guy is probably scared of me punching over the SP and getting rid of one of his disruptions for free, right? Also, he might be scared of me playing something along the lines of like a triple tactics talent and to take this and make a Zeus on top of it. So, you know, he does have to be a little bit cautious about that. So, my plan here is pretty simple, actually. I'm going to start with Corridor. I'm going to make the Colossus banish something, triggering the Arise Heart by force because this card is a mandatory effect. And we will see how he decides to interact with it. That being said, he never has an opportunity to activate this little knight if I go for this play, because if he changes to the Corridor, he's gonna have to go SP, target himself, and banish all of his, you know, his board, which would result in him dying immediately. That being said, making Colossus is also not an effect to make Colossus, so yeah, this kind of forces his hand a little bit. Now, obviously, he could just stay on the Arise Heart, which is the correct play for him here, but he doesn't know that. He does not know what I have. So, yeah, we are going to start off with Corridor. He can't chain the SP unless he wants to get rid of his board. We're going to make this Colossus, and we're going to posture like we're going to just punch over the SP. Or punch into this and make Zeus. Like I said, you know, because this is mandatory, it activates here. And he is like, okay, well, he's gonna. I'm forced to activate, and if he's playing like talents or something, I really don't want him to have extra materials on the Zeus. So he goes to banish the Colossus, which ends up being his downfall. So now he's gonna get the other chain, and I'm just going to punch over the Arise Heart. Great stuff. Alright, the Arise Heart has been dealt with. I have King Sark now. I have access to my graveyard again. We're going to go ahead and make a rank 8. So we get Happy Imseti. And we are going to overlay for the Zombie Vampire, because we want to get more mills going. I decide this is better than the Monster Negate, because, you know, he has Birth. He goes SP, he targets the King of the Skull Servants, not realizing that you actually can't target Zombie Vampire unless the monster that is targeting it was summoned from the graveyard. I'm going to summon out a Rhino Heart to get 2 extra mills. The reason we didn't send a Fuser is because, you know, the Unicorn banished our Kit Kalos last turn. So we send Tier Cash, we mill 2 more. We're going to make our own SP, banish his Birth, And end phase, I get back my King of the Skull Servants, and he has only a top deck and an SP to beat my board. So, what does he draw for turn? Well, we'll see in a second, but it's actually just a dead card, and as a result, we end up winning the game. So he's gonna go get right. He's gonna, go for the adventure token. He's gonna, add Enchantress because his engine is only the level 7. He's not on a legal knight, and he dumps a Horus name. And with no King Sark, that doesn't do anything for him here. And as a result, he's gonna scoop it up because next turn I just, bring back my Horus names from the graveyard, and I beat him to death because his last card in hand is now Enchantress. So, that was the worst case scenario with this deck, and once again, as a reminder, this deck is completely undefeated, as I showed at the start of the game. Or, not at the game, at the start of the video. So, that is the new Undefeated Skull Servants deck list. I hope you all enjoyed today's longer deck profile. It has been a while since I have made one for you guys, so here it is. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one, probably when White Lord comes out. Peace.